understand. Hello, Marvin? Hello, Marvin? Let me see. Oui, allô, Marvin. Mpho est déjà set, hein? Waiting for you.
Good morning and welcome to our Tropics Summit 2020. Very interesting times ahead of us because we are now live and not seeing each other physically. And I'd first like to welcome my first guest, which is Nomsa Nteleko. Good morning, Nomsa.
Good morning. Thank you very much for welcoming me. I'm looking forward to the show today. I mean, technology is enabling us to have this conversation, even though we're not meeting face to face. So it's really interesting times that we live in.
Absolutely. Very fascinating that you should say that, Nomsa. A topic that we're going to be discussing is how can Africa change their narrative with women leaders? And I was actually looking up at leadership as a whole, and it's an art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. So because you are in the world of technology, and I've seen that you are a well-trained leader in terms of the fact that you started with your little siblings, raised them with your family, and so there's a lot of leadership skills that you actually acquired from being a young woman. So how did that change your narrative, especially moving into industry, which I mean, back in the early 2000s, dominantly a male industry. So what did you look at to change the narrative, and what kind of narrative did you change in that sense?
So I think for me, leadership is assumed. You know, I believe that as women, we are born with leadership. And the reason I'm saying that is that, I mean, you look at the families that we are growing. I started my leadership, you know, at the age of 14 when I had to take care of my household and assist in raising my siblings, you know. So at that time, no one taught me how to lead. I literally had to assume the leadership role. And even the African content, I mean, you can look at, you know, in our African culture, we'll have imisebenzi or an event, a cultural event, where you find that it's so disorganized, but there will be that one auntie or that one woman who will come in and make sure that there's order and there's leadership, and the event will be successfully ran, you know. So that person did not wait for someone to say, you are a leader. She literally assumed that leadership role because it is within her, it's in her DNA. So that's really how my narrative changed where leadership is concerned, to say you literally assume it and you start leading. And I also read an interesting book by Robin Sharma that talks about, you know, a leader without a title. From there, I really learned that you can be working in the kitchen, you can be working in any space of your influence. You have to be a leader in that space, and you don't have to wait for anyone to give you a title, leadership, or that, you know, you can start leading.
Absolutely. So, I mean, having said that, Nomsa, I mean, a lot of women that are considered leaders are very measured. So it's either you are in a high position in your respective industries or in a political role. And you talk about women that are untitled leaders. So I'd like to know from you, within the position that we occupy and the industries that we occupy, what is the encouragement, and also what is the kind of things we can put in place so that the untitled leaders are also pushed towards doing more in their respective spaces. Nomsa, I think you're on mute.
I was muted, sorry about that. I'm saying I'm going to really start with a quote by World Health Organization. It says, any country that limits women's contribution to society to only childbearing pays a heavy price in terms of socio-economic development. So that's really where we need to start. We need to change the thinking when we are looking at women and their leadership roles or the roles that they can play in the society where leading is concerned. So one of the things that we can also look at is we need to adopt and implement policies that are gender sensitive. And the biggest problem that Africa faces is the fact that sometimes they implement policies for women without women. How can you implement policies for women if women are not part of the policy creators and you have not walked one day in the shoes of a woman? So we need to adopt and implement policies that are gender sensitive. Secondly, we need to facilitate, support, and develop small businesses. We need to develop SMMEs that are led by women, because if you have SMMEs that are led by women that are developed, you are opening a space very big, because women are known to impact positively the communities that they're leading at. So those are some of the things. And
You can carry on.
To add to that, we need to open entrepreneurship training where women are concerned. One of the great challenges that women face in Africa is the fact that there's limited participation in political and public life. We all know that Africa, in her entire history, she's only had less than 10 women presidents. Are you telling me that in the 54 countries in Africa, women are not good enough to be presidents in the entire history of Africa? So those are some of the things that we need to look at. And the other challenge is that there's lack of access to education and poor retention of girls in schools. So we can open up opportunities for women, and we can open leadership opportunities. But if we cannot find women that can occupy those positions because they did not finish school, they did not have access to education, that is still a great challenge. So we need to be very, we need to be very intentional when it comes to a life of a woman or a life of a girl, to ensure that they finish, their schooling.
Yeah, I just want to bring Kriss into this conversation. Thank you so much, Kriss, for joining us.
Hello. Hello. Sorry. I've just landed in Paris, so it's a bit difficult, but it's okay. I'm with you. I'm very
perfect. We've been discussing with Nomsa on how she has changed the narrative from being just a young girl and being a leader in her own space as a young girl, and also dominating a male industry in terms of technology. I know you are in the media space, and the media space is still very, and actually still oppressive towards women, especially when you're doing big things and you are very vocal about what's going on. You get to tend to be shunned to the side. So how are you in the media space also trying to curb that narrative and change the mindset of people that women, we just don't talk, but we actually do have brains? Because the media is not the easiest part in all of this, because that's what they see us doing in media spaces.
Yes, media space is sure, but especially in new technology and particularly on the internet and web development. So I'm based in Pointe-Noire in Congo, and I've been working with the new technology for about 20 years now. I started to work in France. So the way I'm trying to show and to change the narrative, it just sometime by doing or by initiating projects, but people will think that it's impossible because I am a woman. Just just try to be yourself, but just to challenge yourself, and always put your challenges at such a level that people will get a kind of admiration for the way, for what you are doing, and for the way also you are doing. And also I'm trying also to use a lot of networking and training education. I'm running an institution whose name is called Africa Digital Academy. And in the Africa Digital Academy, we have a special program to empower women in technology. Yes, that's the way I'm doing this.
Yes, perfect. Just to go into one space which I'd like, I mean, all of us to just think about it, is whilst we are changing the narrative for women to be included in systems, women to be included in policies, women to also be part of everything that is going on around, how are we curbing the gap where it does not only fit for women, but it fits for Africa as a whole? Are we just focusing on just women being included, or are we trying to create systems in place that can fit Africa as a whole?
I think we can create also new. We can create new business model just to empower the woman, but also I think it's important to fight against social and mental barriers, because it is not that we are not able to, it's most time we are not given the opportunity to do things. And the worst thing is that we just think that we are unable to do such thing. This is why I'm really believing in example, in role models. For me, role models is important. For we, what we call women leader, we are called women leader. It's very important for us to succeed, because if we succeed, it will show little girls that it's possible. And for me, for example, I'm living in quite a difficult place in Pointe Noire, which is called Mpho. And in Mpho, I've started, initiated an association, an NGO, just to show young and ladies that they are able to do things, and to do things very well. Because the thing is, if all day long people tell you that you are nasty, you are just silly, and they don't try to empower you, you will think that you are silly and you are nasty. If there are people around you that show you that that push you, that show you that you have potential, you have skills, you have the power to change your own history. That your story is not written because you are born in a poor area in Africa. You can change your history. It is not written, and you have all the I will say the tool to do that today, especially through the new technologies. That's what I'm believing, and that's why I'm trying to do in Pointe Noire, Congo.
Yes, and I'd like to bring you in. Yes, definitely, because I see that you also have a role model program. Would you like to just tell us practically what you guys are doing to involve women into your program?
I'd really like to believe with Kriss in terms of saying that role modeling is important. We need to be able to show young women that it is possible. It doesn't matter the environment that you come from. It is possible that you can succeed, and achieve your dreams and lead. So I'm really in agreement with that. The other thing that I wanted to just say, in terms of the psychological, mental, and societal issues, we cannot have a leadership conversation of women without involving men, because it has to be a conversation that is inclusive. Because if we sit in our own little corners and say women empowerment, and the following day we go into spaces where men are occupying, yet we have not changed their thinking and their mind around the leadership of women, then we will not achieve, and change the narrative of Africa as a whole. And with regards to the organization that you're talking about, I'm really excited about changing the lives of the people that are around me, be it women, be it entrepreneurs. So there's an organization called She Powers SA, and it was formed purely for women to know that they can participate actively in the economy of South Africa. And we look around the fact that as a woman, you need to start leading yourself first before you can lead a nation. It has to start with you, so the She Powers SA focuses on saying you are empowering not only yourself, but empower the world at large as well. And the other organization that I lead is OS Business Amplifier. That focuses on assisting entrepreneurs in terms of growing and in terms of having access to market, having access to business ideas, having access to all the tools that will help them succeed. Because if we cannot help those behind us, we are not leading the nation. So that's really my thinking around that.
Yeah, definitely. We're just about to close. I'm going to give you 3 minutes each so that we can wrap up. And I'd just like to pose a question to both of you. Like, as we have discussed all of this, what kind of support as leaders in your positions do you feel you need, either from men, from other women, from your government, or your clients, to be so that we can be able to be empowered to change the narrative? Because with your organizations that you run and the businesses that you run, there is some sort of support that helps you, that you need to reach out to spaces, especially that you're not accessible to. So what kind of support could you put out on this platform to our guests that are in this platform that might be listening, to say, hey, this is what I can offer? Because the idea of these kind of topics is for us not to just talk about them, but to also execute and actually be active and do something about it. We don't want to find ourselves at the next summit next year discussing the same thing, yet we haven't done anything within the next coming 12 months. So from the both of you, what kind of support or access do you need for the future in changing the narrative for women?
For me, I would say maybe in Congo, more training program, more women to be trained in the importance of reducing the gender gap. What I'm saying every day is that fighting the gender gap is not a fight against men. I just think that men are our best allies in that fight. I would say more people to be trained in that field. Also, sometimes more financial also means more financial means, for example, or training room, or even maybe a training center especially dedicated to the gender gap fight. So that we can empower more women, because actually in Congo is just individual women or association NGO working on that field. We don't have really a general or global program for this fight. So that will, I think, that will help a lot. I think some people like me, or even Venetia, or people from diaspora, or I would say a name of a young lady whose name is Tamaris. We are involved, but the thing is that at the local level, we lack of finance, we lack of training, we lack really of means, so that we can empower more people and have a more impactful influence on that field.
Thank you very much, Kriss. We'll go to you, Nomsa.
Okay, sorry.
I think on my side, in terms of one of the reasons I'm in the tech space is to provide solutions that can assist women in running their organizations successfully. So that is the impact that I'm putting in the industry, to say we offer solutions that can help women thrive. We offer business incubation, in fact, business acceleration. We can offer mentorship in the spaces that I'm working on. But from what we need as women, we actually need access to business, because we have businesses, we have ideas, and we have proven that we can succeed in the spaces that we have. So if we can actually get opportunities to thrive and get clients coming on board, so we want access to business, not every business necessarily funding, but they want clients or access to market so that you can continue to excel in what you do. And I think my closing, the World Economic Forum says African women have been called a powerful, untapped economic force and will be absolutely integral in addressing the development challenges Africa faces. So we are that jewel in Africa that can be utilized to actually assist in changing the narrative of Africa. And the last part is, if we think about it, we've always had women leaders. I mean, think about Queen of Sheba, who was in one of the leaders in Ethiopia. And Ethiopia was considered to be the second after Egypt, after where power and fame was concerned. This challenged King Solomon to say, I want to have a commercial relationship with these powerful women. So African women have always been powerful. I would say, let's assume our powerful and leadership positions as African women. Let's not wait for anyone to say, now you can lead.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you very much, Kriss Brochec, the CEO of Africa Digital Academy, and Nomsa Nteleko, the CEO of OS Holdings. Thank you very much for joining us at this year's Tropics, and I hope to see you soon. And let's get women on the ball.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.